With so much software available in the short-term rental industry these days, it's increasingly difficult to keep up to date with what's on the market and to determine whether it's a maybe or a must-have for you and your business. So meet one provider each week in a short interview, learning what they do and what they offer. So if you have around 15 minutes to spare, it could prove to be a very good investment to stick around. So let's see who and what is out there, one by one, with me, Deborah Larby, also known as the Guest Inspector. Hello and welcome back to Techsplained with the Guest Inspector. Now, I first heard of Breezeway a number of years ago, and today I'm actually going to find out what they do for the first time. So today I would like to welcome Corinne from Breezeway. How are you?
I'm so good. Thank you for having me. How are you doing?
I'm really good. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining me today. So we're going to launch straight into it. And a lot of people don't seem to get their head around an elevator pitch. So what I'm going to ask you is to explain Breezeway in one sentence.
Sure. So we're a property care and guest experience platform that really helps vacation rental managers or short-term rental managers communicate, coordinate, and verify the detailed work that they're doing so that they can deliver the best service experience to their guests.
Right. So maintenance and guest experience, guest care.
Yep. Housekeeping, inspections, maintenance, all that good stuff. Yep.
Right. Okay. So let's break it down one by one. As a property manager, I sign up to Breezeway. What are the things that I'm going to go through, or what are the things that you offer me?
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually have 3 different products at Breezeway. Our first product, which is sort of what we launched with, is our operations module. So within that, you're able to handle scheduling and coordinating and communicating the work that actually needs to get done. So you can create all of your scheduling, send that work to your team. They have a mobile app that they can use, complete the work, report any issues back to you, and you have sort of everything stored within one system. And you have a really robust history of work that's been done, and are able to easily manage it, and things aren't getting lost because they're written on like a piece of paper or a text message or something like that. We've also got a messaging product, and that messaging product we launched about 2 years ago. And what that is it is an SMS tool, an inbox within Breezeway system that allows you to send automated messages pre-stay, post-arrival, pre and post-departure, totally customized by you. You can use that to send bulk messages to your guests if there's an elevator out, or there's weather concerns or whatever the case may be. And it just gives your guests a really easy way to connect with you that doesn't interrupt their stay. So sort of removes the need for someone to call a guest after they've arrived to see how that experience is going. And then our most recent, I guess technically most recent product that we've launched within the industry is our safety and certification product. So many of the folks watching this probably know my colleague, Justin Ford, who is the safety guru. He heads up our safety and certification program. And he actually developed what we call the STRSI, so the Short-Term Rental Safety Inspector course. And that's an online certification that folks can do to really understand and identify and think about what might not be safe in their home. So when we think about, making sure that the property is ready for guests, we think about it's not just is it clean, but also is it safe? Because we're seeing a lot more new travelers come into the space who sort of already have that expectation.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So going back to the first part. Yeah. So that's real. So for example, would I be communicating would I have my tradespeople in there? So if there's an issue with the plumbing or electrical or something, so the communication through your platform is going to go directly to my tradespeople that I need help at this property?
It is, yeah. So essentially, and we have different types of users, and I'm sure our sales team would be happy to walk anybody through what those types of users are. But essentially, you have your internal staff that you're assigning work to. You also have contractors that you're assigning work to, or your tradespeople, right? Depending on how frequently you're sort of interacting with them, there's different ways in which they may engage with Breezeway system. But ultimately, the short answer is yes, you would assign them a job. It would tell them where they're going, what needs to be done at which property, when, and then they could accept that job or decline it, and then communicate. They could send you back pictures, notes, all of that stuff, so that they know where to go, when to go, and then you can track that progress. Now, one thing specifically with tradespeople, maybe if it's somebody that you're not using super frequently, or somebody that has like their own staff, we do offer, a piece of our system that, let's say if you work with a contract cleaner, right? You can give them an account and they can upload their people into it. So you assign it to that company and then they redistribute it. So a lot of different ways, that you can utilize the system and interact with the folks who are helping you with your rental. And of course, we can always walk through specific examples, but absolutely.
And I guess the great thing is that the tradespeople will know when the property is free, so they can schedule the visits in between the guests. So also then, if, for example, like the dishwasher breaks down or something like that, so then the guest, through the text service, the text communication, they say, this is the problem, and then it's in the system for the dishwasher repairman to come out, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that's really unique is that if I say the dishwasher is broken, right, and you as a property manager say, no problem, we're going to send somebody out, you can actually enroll that guest to get automatic updates about the work as it's being completed. So they get that notification that we've received your job. And then when I, as the person going out to fix it, click start on that task, the guest gets an update that the job has been started, and then also as well when it's been finished.
Well, that guest is going to feel looked after.
Well, it closes the loop too, right? Because so often we hear from people, and specifically folks with a really large inventory of homes, that yes, we do the work and we go and attend to their needs, but sometimes that loop closing can be really difficult because there's a new fire to put out. And then that guest calls and then you're just, kind of clogging up the phone lines with questions on, was somebody here to help with this? So.
And one thing I saw on your website also is you do owner reports. So in terms of maintenance, you keep the owners up to date. They can see all the costs associated with the repairs and things like that. There's a recorded history.
Yeah, absolutely. So within the system, you've got a really robust history that you can see. And I think, again, maybe geared a little bit more towards folks who have a really large portfolio or large as in like 40 plus portfolio, right? And there's different people who are doing things. So there's not one person, right, who's always aware of everything happening. You've got a history of, hey, we have repaired this dishwasher 5 times. Maybe now is the time to actually replace it. And a history to go back on and lean on to that homeowner to say, this is why we need to do this. And then any task that you complete within Breezeway, we have a really easy way for you to share that report with the homeowner. And they don't have to have a login or anything like that. You can just link it in an email or send it as a text. And they can see that and see everything that you do, because again, so often you're doing all of this stuff and the homeowner has no idea. And we certainly don't encourage people to send a communication to the homeowner after every single minute thing that's being done, but maybe your deep cleans or your annual surveys for, preseason checks or whatever that may be. There's some really great touch points so that they get an understanding of the vast, work that you're doing in their home.
And one more thing that I noticed on your website is it's to do with cleaning and the cleaners. So there was a photo and it said something about the arranging of the chairs and things like that. So do the cleaners then report back, they've done the clean, they've done this is like a checklist of what they've done? It involves maintenance as well, perhaps, and then the staging of the property before they're finished, that includes all of that?
It does, yeah. So essentially the way that our system works is you're going to build what we call a template. This is your kind of, overarching master template of everything you're going to do on a clean. Then as you go into each home, you're going to be able to remove items that maybe don't exist. Perhaps this property doesn't have a dishwasher, or this bathroom doesn't have a shower. And so your master checklist then sort of dwindles down to be really specific to that home. And to augment that, right, you're able to say, but at this house, we have this thing. And so you end up coming out with this really tailored checklist that needs to be completed at each home that really hits the important things. An owner who has a really particular preference about how the pillows are arranged or whatever that may be, you can actually, not just say you're going to do, but actually, execute on that. And then when your team is in the field, they're completing that checklist. They're able to report any issues. They can also see, did someone else report this issue, right? Has this been an ongoing thing? Can I communicate that, hey, this looks to have gotten worse or whatever it is? And they can see photos of how not only the room or the condo or the house should look, but also really specific things that are important to your brand standards. Maybe it's how you fold the toilet paper, place the guest amenities. All of that can be communicated within that one task in their app that they're doing.
Yeah. So not only the tradespeople or maintenance people, they're the cleaners that are also all part of the communication through Breezeway.
Yeah. All of your sort of back of house operations staff that makes the home be ready for a guest to come in can all operate through the system.
Great. There was one other thing that I saw on your website, and I thought, oh, this is genius. And it's something about they can see like there's an extra night, there's a gap night, and it will send out a message to say, hey, do you want to stay one more night? We'll give you a discounted rate. And I was thinking, oh, that's such a tease. If I was staying somewhere and they've offered me an extra night for a discount, oh, if as long as I could, get home without changing flights and what have you.
Right.
But I thought, well, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's funny timing. We launched our Gap Night feature right in the middle of COVID, where everyone was thinking we're not trying to create, back-to-backs and things like that. But it is insane the number of people who have been doing this, but running arrival and departure reports and manually messaging every guest. It's just such a it's not an efficient way to do it. And so, yes, this Gap Night feature actually allows you to go in and say, what is the message that you send? Do you send it to allow people to come in a night early, to stay a night later? What about the minimum and maximum gaps, right? So if you have a 4-night minimum and you have a 2-night gap, well, then you can send it. But if you have a 4-night gap, maybe you don't want to send it. And we make it really easy because of integrations that we have. We know when those gaps exist and those go out, and you literally aren't doing anything. You're not doing anything, and you're, receiving the benefit of that.
Now you touched on integration. So in terms of all your communications and etc., so you are integrated with some PMS or many PMS.
We are integrated with many PMS.
So once the booking has come through, you've got all that information that already automatically feeds into Breezeway?
Yes. So our integrations, I think we have over 30 at this point with, just a variety of integrations located all over the world. So not just US based. And so essentially what happens is when you make a reservation in your PMS, that feeds over to Breezeway. We know the details of that reservation so that you can have your scheduling of work automatically happening, your communication automatically set to go out. And then what's also really nice is that if then you make a change, let's say that guest takes you up on a Gap Night message, right? And they extend that stay. When you update that in the PMS, it comes over to Breezeway, and so does the work that you have scheduled. So if someone was supposed to leave Thursday, now they're leaving Saturday, that work moves to Saturday as well. So really reducing that manual work you have to do.
Yeah, that's great. So out of interest then, who is your target audience? Like what size companies are your audience?
We work with, companies of all different sizes. We work with folks who have 2 or 3 properties. We work with people who have 2,000 properties and really everywhere in between. The one thing that I would say is that, certainly when you reach sort of that mass, maybe it's 20 properties, operations becomes a really big challenge and a time suck. So at that point, it's sort of a no-brainer to evaluate and try to find some sort of a solution that can help support that. And I think that we're specific, I shouldn't say we, but you all as hosts and property managers are just naturally inclined to do a lot of work. And I don't even think sometimes we realize how much work technology can actually help us with. So, when you, like I said, you hit that 15, 20 mark, it starts to become a lot and things can get missed. So that's sort of a very natural need. But when you're under that, what I always tell people is that if you have one home and it's down the street from where you live and you're going to be the primary person maintaining and caring and cleaning, this might not be the right tool for you. Of course, we would welcome you and love for you to use it, but there's a lot of robust features in here that you may not need. But if you're got one or two properties and you're looking to really grow and scale and build a business, focus on the operational efficiencies that you can get from having software in place, so that then you can focus on building and getting more homes into your program, right? Mm-hmm. And I think, as with any software that offers a lot, it's important to understand what's most useful and what's going to benefit your company the most, and really focus on that. And you can always add on features that are offered in the future.
Yeah. And we're going to start winding up now. So I would like to know actually about pricing. How does the pricing work?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are the way that we charge when you get to like 15 properties, you're charging a monthly per unit price. That may vary, right? Because you may have 15 properties today and 25 next month. And so you charge a flat fee based off of the number of properties that are active in your account. Under 15, we just have a flat fee, a flat monthly fee, but it is charged monthly based on the number of units. And the pricing, really varies based off of which of our products you're using.
All right. So the pricing varies. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because you may only use our operations product, right? You may only use our messaging product, right? Or you may use both.
Yeah. Okay. That's good to know. And also, is there a contract? So if someone does want to use Breezeway, do they have to lock in for a year, or is it just month to month?
We do. We have a year contract. However, it is an annual contract. However, you generally can cancel within 60 days if you really feel like the product isn't working for you. The reason that we do that and the reason that we have that annual contract is because my team, the client experience team, spends a lot of time with our clients to get them up and running. And we want to be able to continue to deliver that really exceptional service. And, for folks to kind of hop on and hop off, that's really difficult to do. So, and, I don't want to, I guess I'm putting this out here as I'm about to say it on this video, but, we're not trying to lock anybody into a product that they don't like, right? It doesn't benefit us, doesn't benefit you. So, in extreme cases, we're happy to work with folks.
Yes. I'm sure there's a lot of discussion before they're signing on the dotted line anyway.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that brings us to the end. A nice little snippet as to what Breezeway does. Finally, I know all about it.
I'm so happy.
Thank you so much for your time, Corinne. I hope to catch you at a conference very soon. And really good to know about Breezeway.
Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity.
Pleasure. Thank you. See you.
Bye.
Bye.